You're sitting there watching her slip away. She's taking longer to respond. Her energy feels different. The connection you had seems like it's fading. And every instinct in your body is screaming that she's done, that you messed up, that she's moving on. But what if everything you think you're seeing is wrong? What if the coldness isn't rejection at all? What if it's something completely different? Something most men never figure out until it's too late. There's one behavior in particular that makes guys think it's over, but it's actually proof she's terrified of how real this is becoming. I'm going to show you exactly what that behavior is in just a minute. But first, you need to understand why the signs of fear look identical to the signs of disinterest. Because if you can't tell the difference, you'll make the one move that guarantees she walks away for good. I'm going to break down the psychology behind why women who've been hurt before act completely opposite to what they're feeling, and I'll reveal the critical mistake that pushes her from scared to gone. This isn't guesswork. This is about reading what's really happening beneath the surface. Stay with me because around the 5-minute mark, I'm going to tell you the exact moment you'll know whether she's protecting herself or actually done with you. And the difference will change everything. The real reason she shuts down and why it means she cares. Here's what it looks like. Everything was going great. You had chemistry, real conversations, genuine connection. Then, out of nowhere, she goes quiet. Not completely ghost, but different. Less available, less warm, less everything. Your first thought, she met someone else. She's bored, she changed her mind, but here's what's really going on. And this is where most guys get it completely backwards. When a woman has been hurt before, truly hurt, her brain develops a protection system, and the moment things start feeling too good, too real, too close, that system activates not because she wants it to, because it has to. Think about it this way. She's been vulnerable before. She's opened up, let someone in, believed it was safe, and then it wasn't. Maybe she was blindsided, maybe she ignored red flags, maybe she gave too much and got nothing back. Whatever happened, it left a mark. And that mark doesn't just disappear because you're a good guy. Here's the part that's going to change how you see everything. There's something psychologists call the vulnerability hangover. When she starts feeling close to you, when she realizes she's opening up more than she planned, her brain doesn't celebrate. It panics because the last time she felt this way, it ended in pain. So even though you haven't done anything wrong, her nervous system treats closeness like danger. Her body literally can't tell the difference between falling for someone and walking into a trap. Her stress response fires. Her guard goes up and she starts creating distance. Not because she doesn't want you, but because wanting you feels like the most dangerous thing she could do. This isn't conscious. She's not sitting there thinking, I'm going to push him away. She just feels overwhelmed, and distance feels like the only way to breathe. And here's the brutal truth. The better things are between you, the stronger this reaction becomes. Which means if she's pulling back right when things were getting good, it might actually be the biggest compliment she could give you. She's just too scared to see it that way yet. But there's one specific behavior that reveals everything. One thing she does that proves this is fear, not disinterest. And when I tell you what it is, you're going to see her completely differently. I'll get to that in just a second. But first, let me ask you something. Have you noticed that she seems fine with everyone else, but different with you? Like she's lighter with her friends, but heavier with you? If that's happening, keep watching because that's not what you think. The sign that proves it's fear, not rejection. Before I go deeper, do me a favor. Hit that like button because what I'm about to tell you goes against every dating advice cliche you've ever heard. And if you're still here, you deserve the real answer. Here's the sign that separates scared from done. And it's going to seem backwards at first. She still responds, but the responses are careful, not cold. Careful. There's a difference. When a woman is done with you, she either ghosts completely, or her messages feel detached, like she's talking to a stranger. But when she's scared, her responses are measured. She's still engaged, but she's controlling how much she gives. Why does this matter? Because a woman who doesn't care anymore doesn't put energy into managing the conversation. she just checks out. But a woman who's scared, she's calculating every word, she's trying to stay connected without getting too close. She's protecting herself while hoping you don't disappear. Here's what this looks like in practice. You text her something funny, and she responds with more than just, haha. She actually engages, but then doesn't ask a follow-up question. Or you make plans and she says yes, but keeps it vague about timing. She's not saying no, she's buying herself space while keeping the door open. This is what therapists call guarded availability. She's still here, but she's controlling the temperature. And here's the key: if she was truly uninterested, she wouldn't bother with this balancing act. She'd just be done. But there's more, and this is where it gets really revealing. I'm going to walk you through 4 behaviors that prove she's scared, not disinterested. And that 4th one is so specific. If you see it, you'll know beyond any doubt that her walls are up because she cares too much, not too little. Pay attention to number 4, because if you mishandle it, you'll confirm every fear she has about getting hurt again. 4 behaviors that reveal she's protecting her heart behavior. 1, she responds differently depending on the topic. She's distant when you talk about anything emotional or future-focused, but the moment you shift to something light, something funny, something safe, she comes alive again. That inconsistency, that's not mixed signals, that's fear. She wants to talk to you. She just can't handle the heavy stuff right now because heavy means vulnerable, and vulnerable is exactly what she's trying to avoid. Watch what she engages with. If she lights up over the small talk but shuts down when things get real, she's protecting herself from getting too deep. Behavior 2, she mentions her past, but only in pieces. She'll drop a comment about an ex or a situation that hurt her, but she won't elaborate. She says just enough to let you know she's been through something, then changes the subject. This is huge. A woman who doesn't care, doesn't bother giving you context for her behavior, but a woman who's scared, she's subtly telling you why she's being cautious. She wants you to understand, but she's not ready to fully explain. If she's doing this, she's hoping you'll be patient enough to connect the dots without forcing her to relive the story. Behavior 3, she tests you in small, specific ways. She cancels plans last minute to see if you'll get angry. She takes hours to respond to see if you'll blow up her phone. She says something slightly distant to see if you'll panic and chase. These aren't games. These are survival tactics. She's watching how you handle disappointment, how you react to space, how you respond to uncertainty, because the guy who hurt her before failed these tests. And she needs to know you won't. If you stay calm, if you don't guilt trip her, if you give her room without disappearing, you pass. And every test you pass makes her feel a little safer. Behavior 4, she talks about you to her friends, but downplays it. This is the big one. When a woman is casually interested, she might mention you, but it's surface level. When she's genuinely falling but terrified, she tells her friends about you in a way that sounds almost dismissive. He's cool, I guess. We'll see. But here's the tell. Her friends ask about you, they bring you up, they want to meet you. Why? Because she's talking about you way more than she's admitting. She's protecting herself by pretending it's not a big deal, but her friends can see through it, and here's how you know this is happening. If her friends seem to know details about you that she never directly told them, she's been talking. If they act like they already know you before you've even met them, she's been talking. This is the clearest sign that she's in deeper than she's letting on. She's just too scared to own it yet. But here's where everything can go wrong, and I need you to lock in, because this next part is the difference between her eventually trusting you and her walking away, convinced she was right to protect herself. The one thing you must never do, when you realize she's scared, your instinct is going to be to fix it, to reassure her, to tell her she's safe, to push for clarity, to ask, "What are we?" or "Why are you being distant?" Don't. Not yet. Here's why. When she's in protection mode, any pressure, even gentle pressure, feels like an attack. You think you're being caring. She feels cornered. You think you're offering reassurance. She feels like you're demanding vulnerability. She's not ready to give. Timing is everything. And right now, the timing is wrong. So what do? You stay consistent without being clingy. You don't chase when she pulls back, but you also don't punish her with silence. You check in, but you keep it light. Hey, saw this and thought of you. Hope you're good. That's it. No demands, no expectations, no guilt. You're showing her that you're steady, that you don't need constant validation, that you can handle her pace. And here's the secret: most guys never learn. You let her come to you. When she's ready, she will. When she feels safe, she will. But she has to arrive at that decision on her own. You can't drag her there. You can't convince her into trust. You just have to be trustworthy and let time prove it. This is what emotional maturity looks like. It's not about being passive, it's about being patient. It's about understanding that her fear isn't about you, it's about what happened before you. And the only way she'll believe you're different is if you act different, not by saying it, by showing it consistently over time. What happens when she finally feels safe? Here's what most guys don't realize. When a woman who's been hurt finally feels safe with you, the shift is massive. All that distance, it disappears. All that guardedness, it melts. She goes from careful to completely open, and the love she was holding back becomes the love she can't hold back anymore. But you have to give her the time and space to get there. You can't rush healing. You can't fast track trust. You just have to be the kind of person who's worth trusting. And over time, her nervous system will catch up to what her heart already knows. She'll stop testing you because you've already proven yourself. She'll stop pulling back because being close no longer feels dangerous. And suddenly, you're not just the guy she's scared of losing. You're the person she can't imagine her life without. That's how you turn fear into love. Not by pushing, by being present, not by demanding, by being steady, not by forcing her to open up, by creating a space where opening up feels safe. The truth about women who've been hurt: I know it's hard when you care about someone. You want them to meet you halfway. You want them to be as open as you are, as available as you are, as sure as you are. But sometimes the women worth waiting for need time to believe it's real. She's not ignoring you because you don't matter. She's protecting herself because you matter too much. And if you can see that, if you can respond with patience instead of pressure, you won't just win her over, you'll become the exception. The one who didn't give up when she got scared, the one who understood that her walls weren't rejection, they were self-preservation, the one who proved that not every man who gets close ends up hurting her. That's not just about getting the girl, that's about being the kind of man who deserves her in the first place. If this hit home, drop a comment with the word "thank you" so I know you understand what real connection takes. And hit subscribe because I'm breaking down more female psychology every single